Hi guys, it's Ian Coleman from OSBFX. It is 10:52 in the morning, 19th of November 2021. This is a mid-morning update. I thought it was relevant that we got something out there. We've been talking about the US dollar. We warned this morning about the potential for a move to the upside. We've seen risk off really across the board, so that's resulted in the dollar moving higher, the US dollar, that is, the Swiss franc moving higher, and also the Japanese yen. Now, I want to go to the single currency charts. So I want to talk about whether or not this risk on is going to be extended, sort of timing behind it, and I really want to concentrate on the Japanese yen. So let's go to the chart. So this is the dollar basket. I'm not going to run through what everything is. If you've not seen the videos before, please look on the YouTube channel and refresh yourself. This is the hourly chart. So this is what I now believe is going to play out. So we've seen this move to the downside over the 17th and 18th of the month, and then we've seen a correction higher, the strong move higher this morning, but we've hit this 78.6% fib level. So we are correcting lower. We don't really want to be trading this leg. What we want to be doing is waiting for confirmation that this pattern has formed. So I'm expecting some pretty choppy, mixed, volatile price action with maybe one last drive to the upside. Now this black line here, which we keep on talking about, is the medium-term resistance level. Now it's a monthly resistance, so it can be quite hard to trade it because as long as I close below it at the end of November, which is another 10 days-ish, then it's still deemed to be valid. So I'm basically looking for top informations around that black line. So this is what I think is going to happen in the dollar. I think a lot of people, if they're unaware of this, are going to get wrong-footed. If they're trading euro dollar, they're going to see a move to the upside now probably, and then jump on that only to be spoofed out if they get their stop in too tight. So that is the dollar. The euro we've still been talking about, still waiting for this dip lower. Not got far to go now. We've seen that move this morning. So as the US dollar headed higher, obviously the euro headed lower, and it produced that pretty impulsive. Let's just go to euro dollar. Pretty impulsive move to the downside, and this is what we warned about, or I warned about, in the 7 o'clock video this morning. I hope you got to see it early enough. So going back to the basket, and by the way, if you didn't see it early enough, please join the Telegram channel. I don't understand why people aren't jumping on it. It's free. We give advice on there, give trade ideas, or I highlight the trades that I'm looking at, and it's a lot quicker than getting the analysis through different channels. The link will be at the end of this video. So the dollar, euro, we've talked about. Sterling. Now, sterling euro, sterling Swiss, we've been in this week. It's moved to the downside. It's hit this support. It's just correcting higher. Swiss franc moving higher, but again, you've got to be a little bit wary of these patterns because I believe we're going to complete here. So again, the risk on could be short-lived. In other words, you see this. So we're just moving lower before completing this pattern. So got to be wary of that. Got to have, well, got an alarm set on there. So if we get up to those levels, obviously going to be looking at coming out of the sterling Swiss short position. We've only got a small balance in that now anyway. So that's the Swiss franc. The Canadian dollar, we've talked about in the last video, really in no man's land. Aussie dollar is grinding lower. Okay, patterns possibly emerging soon, and this is important. The Aussie dollar is important. It's a risk on, risk off product. So you've seen a move to the downside this morning. That's when we've seen the risk off. Okay, so selling stocks. Aussie dollar moves to the downside, yen moves to the upside, Swiss moves to the upside, etc. New Zealand dollar is the same. So we've got these support zones in both the Aussie and the New Zealand, okay, dollar. So Aussie dollar support, New Zealand dollar support. So we'd basically look for something to trade against that. Now, if these guys decide that they're going to move back to the upside, this is after we've moved lower, then the Japanese yen should move in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's have a look at Japanese yen. And here on my chart, which I talked about again this morning, I've highlighted these levels. So we've moved higher, risk off this morning. We've got this resistance zone on the single currency basket. And basically, what I'm looking for is that pattern. Okay, so I'm quite happy to trade the BC leg to the downside as long as other things line up, and this would make a Gartley formation. So I want to be selling into yen strength. I want to be buying into New Zealand dollar dips, and I want to be buying into Aussie dollar dips down here. So that basically says to me, what do I need to do? I need to cross those currencies over, and I need to be looking at yen crosses. So I go here, go to my yen crosses, and you can see here I've got 3 highlighted. Now, we talked about euro yen this morning, and we talked about this level. This is the bespoke support. And we talked about the fact that it makes a bat formation, but we also talked about the fact that we don't have the yen side and we don't have the euro side. So this could quite easily push through and make some other pattern to the downside. So I've walked away or stepped away from the euro against the Japanese yen, but these are interesting. Okay, Aussie yen are not at current levels. We're forecasting into the future. Okay, Aussie yen down here. This is at 80. I've got 80.90 and 80.87 as my support levels. And if I just scroll up like that, okay, what am I forming here? This is a perfect crab formation. So if, it's always ifs, I keep on going on about that, it's always ifs in forecasting. It might not get down to that level, but if it gets down to this level, and Aussie has made a Gartley formation, bullish Gartley formation, and yen has hit that AB leg that I'm talking about, then I will take this trade to the upside. New Zealand, okay, we've got 2 levels here, both close to the 50%. Remember when we've spoken about the 50% pullback level, it's a great level because it makes it an inside pattern and it will complete an inside pattern. So we've got confluence area here, and this is on my second support. So remember, I normally have 2 support levels. So we've got 79.39, 79.15. If we project a formation from 79.15, then we make a perfect bat formation. So again, trading the BC leg to the upside. And the last one, and I've only really got one leg of this, is Swiss yen. Okay, moving lower as we can see at the moment. And if we look to the second pattern, or the second support, which is at 122, the figure, the first one's at 122.23, then we can make this pattern. But that's quite a deep pattern, and a lot of time on the deep patterns, the corrective leg is only mild. So I want to get rid of that really, because firstly, I only have the potentially only going to get the yen side. I'm not going to have the Swiss side, and the risk or the reward is pretty limited compared to New Zealand yen and Aussie yen. It's a waiting game at the moment, and that's why we have the Telegram group, so that we can get the timing pretty pit perfect, or hopefully pit perfect. Okay, guys, I'll speak to you again soon. Many thanks.